Welcome to Reread. We are on Book 5 of the Jedi Prince series. This is called Queen of the Empire. It starts off with a scientist, a rebellion scientist called Fandar. He's demonstrating a human replica droid of Leia, showing how her laser beams are really cool. And he throws a coin up to have her shoot the coin because he's had her shoot something else. And instead of shooting the coin, she shoots right through the heart of Fandor. Oh no! Well, we need to give him another heart. Obviously, it's not a death blow, but he will die in the next, I think the Hoden says, 3 days if you can't get a heart transplant. And there are no Shadrafan around the place. They got to go to his home planet, Chad, to find him a donor. So they do that in the next chapter, and then that storyline wraps up. Oh, he fixes the human replica droid so as it won't shoot people through the heart. Well, at least that's what Fandor thinks. Anyway, meanwhile, Triclops willingly and happily goes into a holding cell. Remember, they found him in some of the previous adventures. So now he returns to the rebel base, goes to a holding cell. He has nightmares a lot where he spouts out evil creations and evil inventions. But the next morning he wakes up and doesn't realize anything, which is why the Empire had him under lock and key. He's kind of insane, so they couldn't make him the leader, but he has a lot of good ideas for mass weapons of destruction. Now, I was afraid they were going to say that the Death Star was one of his ideas, but they did not. They did not, thankfully. So he is not connected to the Death Star, but who knows what evil creations came from the dreams of Triclops. We can. It's horrible to even find out. Well, at this point, Han awkwardly asks Leia to marry him, and maybe they should just elope. And Leia's all for it. So they go to Hologram Fun World as an elope. Now, this is spur-of-the-moment stuff. And I'll explain this in the last book because there's something that the author said, but they were never going to get married in this series. Anyway, a nice little elopement is fun. When they go to Hologram Fun World, of course they find out Lando's there because we know from Galaxy of Fear that he basically scoped it out previously. So he's like, okay, I remember that. That may be a good investment for me years later to come back to Hologram Fun World. But they don't do anything. And I mean, they go to certain places, like they get to see a hologram of Alderaan. And Han's like, hey, do you want to see the flower museum? She went, yeah, but I have allergies. He went, no, these are hologram flowers. You can smell them. They're fake artificial smells and feel them, but they're all fake. They won't give you allergies. It's all the good stuff, none of the bad at Hologram Fun World. But they didn't do as much as I thought they would with it. I thought they'd do a whole lot more with this. That there is one reference I know I missed the first time through because I was a kid when I read it, like 13. But Hologram Fun World is said to have 1,138 THX sound systems. That's throwing in your face right there, isn't it? So that was pretty funny. THX 1138. I thought that was great. And I know as a kid I'd missed that reference. I didn't even know about that. But that was in there. Anyway, Zorba discovers that the princess is alive, so he sends bounty hunters to capture her. And he's going to dump her in the great pit of Carkoon on Tatooine. How they capture is really funny. They go, Han and Leia and Lando attend a magic show, but the Bith who's performing it is not the Bith magician. It's been replaced by one of Zorba's henchmen. And even Lando, that racist, doesn't know that the Bith is not the same Bith as the magician who does the shows on there, because according to Lando, all these Bith look alike. No, he didn't say that, but that was, and when I started thinking about it, I was like, how did you not know that was not, because it's his show, it's his world. But he didn't even know they did the old switcheroo, because all Bith look alike. Ooh, Lando, how could you? Shame, shame, sir. Shame, shame. Anyway, this is where we find out Hiss is alive, but he's in like this little hovercraft, only half of his body. He's half the man he used to be. But he's still giving his dark greetings. He's still having a Moffrence, and they're flying around the Moff ship when they see Zorba go by, and they're like, wait a minute, we need to get that dude. You know, he's responsible for a bunch of our grief, and he has Triculus and Carbonite. So they take on Zorba's ship, attack it, after he has captured Leia, no less. They free Triculus. Triculus realizes that Leia is on the ship, goes to Leia, you will be my queen. And she's like, no, I don't want to be your queen. You know, and that was a pretty good impression of part of what she said. But Triculus is insistent that she'll marry him, so he tells the Moffs, and this is one thing I'd totally forgotten, to go get the Dark Book of Imperial Justice, because that's where the vows are kept. The Dark Book of Imperial Justice. Boy, did Lucasfilm miss out by not printing out the Dark Book of Imperial Justice. What else does it have in there? I just want to know. Anyway, as a switcheroo, as the Moffs have taken over the ship, they decide to throw Zorba into the Great Pit of Carcoon. But don't worry, because as you know, at the very end, it'll spit out the hut and he'll walk away laughing. Because I guess Sarlaccs don't eat huts, is what they'll say later on. Anyway, as Trickulus goes to marry Leia, Luke and Han have already rescued her, and they put the replica droid in her place. And so when they're giving the I do's, he's seeing if Leia will say I do. He's like, "You look funny. What's wrong?" And then laser beams come out of her eyes, and she shoots him through the heart. Darn her. The Moffs destroy the human replica droid too. They start shooting it because they don't know what's going on. How did Princess Leia shoot lasers from her eyes? Bunch of dummies. Anyway, oh, and Trickulus is like beyond burned at this point. I mean, his hand was already burned up from wearing the glove. He had to get a fake glove because the real glove is hurting his health and whatnot. I guess, I don't know. I would say, I would like to think that it wasn't anything about Sith magic. It was just radiation coming off from an exploded Death Star. You don't know where that glove's been, man. Don't even touch it. But that's why he's breaking out in boils all over his skin, his face, his eyes are going blind and everything. And then when he gets rid of it, he's feeling better after he takes some medicine. Yeah, that glove is heavily radiated, I bet. And but anyway, that's how the book ends, and you're getting set up for the big ending. Or is it a big ending? I don't know. Find out next time.